Everyone will please go to classroom. We are going to start talking about your resume and your college application essay. Now, the first thing students say when I say that is, I'm not going to for your college. I don't have to have this. I'm thinking, well, that is great. I'm glad that you've got plans, but you need to do this for the assignment. It is an assignment in English 12 that you need to do. Yes.
She needs real flitter thing.
Okay. Would you be able to can you reach that, or I might have to move you? That's the only one we have right now, but we should be getting more. Okay. You guys just be careful if you're getting up, because there's All right. One other thing, really quickly, I hope to put the little grade in for the index card. So make sure that you turn that in. I think I still have a few students who did not turn that in. I have my virtual students. I copied them and hung them up. So just make sure that you have done that, please. Hung it up.
I thought you said hang it up.
No, hung it up. If you hang someone, it's.
It used to be a public show.
All right. Okay, guys. So looking at the resume, let's go ahead and look at the instructions. And I've already got a place for you to turn it in. For that. And let me go to English 12. Let me see. I thought I had made.
I looked at the attached.
Okay, I just need the resume. Okay, here we go. Tips. Okay, tips. Guys, I will merge those two they'll be in the same area. But right now we're looking at the assignment of a resume. I don't know that I've showed you all this yet. I might have pulled it up the other day. But this is a sample resume. It is not. Anybody want breakfast? Just a reminder, I think you're still supposed to get on that breakfast and order lunch also. Okay, we'll wait just a second.
I'm so cold that I can hardly chocolate milk out of my mouth. So, already have a resume.
Okay, we'll talk about that. You can update what you have. That'll be great. You can use it for this class. Does anybody else have the forms to turn in? Those school forms that we have to turn in every year. This is your last time to do it, by the way. I know your parents and guardians are happy. Nobody else.
What form is it?
The forms was not on that first one school.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not doing
Do you have some?
it.
Do you need another copy of them?
No, I got it.
Oh,
I just
got it.
don't know.
Got it. Okay, guys. So a couple things I want to talk about first. How many of you guys already have a resume? You've made it in another class. Okay. So the good news is you can just update that and you can submit that, and that will suffice. I'm not going to have to recreate and reformat if you're happy with your resume. But here's the thing about resumes. They change constantly. So I would be if you haven't done it since last spring or last fall, I know that you have done something that you need to add on that resume. So everyone needs to update their resume if you have one already made. Is that understandable? Okay. Also, there could be that there's some things, titles and topics here that you might not have on there, and I want you to add those. So that's perfectly fine. I don't consider that plagiarism at all. If you're just updating your resume and handing it in, that's fine. I'm impressed that you already have a resume. That's great. So this morning, just to kind of make it easier, we have three things we're going to do. I'm going to talk about the resume. I'm going to give you the assignment. Then I'm going to talk about the college application essay. And then finally, I'm going to talk about writing a letter to yourself, your future self in May, that this is what I want today before you leave. So you're thinking, and I'm going to get to this in a little bit, but you get to pick out what color you want. I'm not reading it. I'm going to staple it and put it in your envelope for 1B. You'll get it back in May. So those are the three things we're doing. The only thing I'm going to want to take up is your letter to yourself. If you need more time, you'll have to let me know because I plan on taking everyone else's up. Okay. So back to the resume. This is barring the right side of the page where, you obviously wouldn't have explanations here. This is just kind of a how-to page, and there's different templates you can use. It doesn't have to look just like this, but typically the contact information is at the top. You have your name, permanent address, which means if you're going to college and you might be moving apartments later or whatever, you would want to have where your parent guardian lives for a permanent address. Same thing for your email. You want that permanent email. You don't want the school email. All right, so education, it needs to say will graduate from Westside High School May 24th, 2021. And you don't have to have anything else. I know a lot of places will say, well, put your GPA. Typically, though, the schools are going to have your transcript. They're going to know your GPA. So you don't have to put that on there unless you just want to. Now, this one, this is probably more for someone who's applying for a job. And I say that because experience is first. When on an academic resume, you would want your awards, activities to go first. Because really, they want to know, what have you been doing with your time? Obviously, experience is part of that. But I would put awards before experience. Here's something else I want to say about resumes. They're like individual, like your fingerprint, because not everybody has, everyone's is going to look different. So here's the thing. If someone tells me, I don't have any activities, I'd argue. I'd say, well, you need to really think about that. You need to think about community work. You need to think about what you're doing at church, at school. Think about those things that you're doing. And basically, if you're not taking pay for something, that is considered community service, volunteer work. So you can put that under there. If it's babysitting, that would also count for that. References, we list those at the bottom. We don't ever put available upon request. Okay. I want you to list 3 references and go ahead and put them on there. Now, before you list them and turn them into me, I want to make sure that you have asked permission. You go to that adult and you say, may I put you down as a reference on my resume? I'm making this for a class assignment, but I'm going to be using it eventually. So you need to get their permission. You would need their name, their full name, their title of their work. If they're a retired military person, that's what you would put down. If it's a neighbor, teacher, preacher, principal, boss, right? Boss, if you put the company down, the phone number and the email. That's what you would need. Now, if they don't have an email, don't stress over it. Phone number is the main thing. Okay, something else I want to say about this. Notice how, they have done experience where it looks like I don't know if they received pay there at the library or just volunteered there. But, for me, if they volunteered, I wouldn't put that as experience. I would put that as under community service. It just, I don't know, it looks like this is what I've been doing to help others. But they put down the date, June 2005, and they're still doing it. So that's what you need to do. So if you're involved in something and, since 2017, you're still doing it, you need to put that to present. And I would really stick with dates instead of grade and I know it's harder to count back years, but I know you can do it because you're seniors. But it looks, I think, more professional instead of putting grade down to do year, month and year. Notice how there are no full sentences here. This is probably the only time you're ever going to say, don't write full sentences. Don't write a paragraph. It needs to be short. It needs to be powerful. You're going to pack a lot in the punch in your sentence and your phrase. So maintain library database on checked out materials. Maintain sounds much better than did or kept, right? Or filed. So you want to use those action verbs. Never fear, because you scroll down, they've got a lot of great action verbs here. Organized card catalog, coordinated volunteer program. So guys, you really think on your jobs, your volunteer work, tell us what you do. Don't just say, well, I just work at Sonic. I don't know, what do you do? Think about what all you do. You guys, from what I see, you take orders and then you deliver, you might change, right? You may help clean, you may help cook. Those are all skills. And so you work with people, you communicate. So all those things would need to go under your job description. So you have to think carefully about those. All right, National Honor Society. Again, year to present, or if you stop doing it, you still put it down. Just put the end to the best of your memory. You want to start most present and go backward. You don't want to start what I did in ninth grade and then go have 12th grade at the bottom. You want to start most present and go down, but stop at ninth grade, because eighth grade I know is great, but we don't want to go past that, because this is considered your high school experience. All right, activities. Notice they listed National Honor Society again, which typically I would say don't list something twice, but since they didn't really list a lot of things in detail about what NHS at their school does, that's okay. French club, cross country, piano lessons. Some students like to differentiate between clubs and organizations. If you want to do that, that's great. You don't have to. A club has the word club after it. An organization is band, ROTC, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, things you just can't walk up and join, right? National Honor Society, those are all things. Now, something else I want to say about honors, because I'll have kids, it breaks my heart, I don't have any honors. I'm like, yes, you do. You're just not thinking. So this is something that you can probably get like a skeletal resume and then be thinking over the weekend, oh yeah, I did that. Oh yeah, I forgot I was. If you were on prom committee, that is, excuse me while I call mascot, that is a recognition from teachers. You were selected to be on that prom committee. So anytime you're selected for something out of a pool of people, that is a recognition. Okay, so count that. All right, elected homecoming, that is a recognition, an honor that goes on there. So you really need to think, what all have I done? What all have I been awarded for? All right, awards again, AB honor roll, A honor roll, that counts. That goes on there. Student of the week, volunteer. Here we go. You don't have to have a 10-foot trophy to be able to put it on here. If you were recognized for something, it goes on your resume. Okay. Don't think, well, it's too small or it's nothing. It is. It's something. Questions on this? Okay, let's look at the next one I have, the next little thing. Let's see, I've got, okay, Al Purdue is great. It is a great resource for everything English. All right, so here they have just kind of a how to do a resume, but I want to tell you, do not use their template. Don't click on this. I'm going to guide you to Google Docs. They have 5 templates. Choose one and do it. It's free. It's hassle free. They're not going to ask you for $3 or $10 or whatever. It shouldn't cost you a dime. That's taking too long. We'll come back to Al Purdue. All right, so Princeton may take long on this one too. Okay, so this is good because this is going to, you might be like, Ms. Riggs, what titles, what headings do I use? What order? Here we go. If you look right here at this section, what should go on a college resume? This is the last entry on the tips for the resume. Heading with your name, address, and email. Every template will have that on there. You just go in and put your information there and get rid of the other stuff. Next, high school information with your graduation date. You don't have to do GPA and ACT unless you want to. The next thing is academic awards, publications, honors, other achievements, recognition. You know, your sports team won 2nd place in state. That is, guys, that counts. All that counts. By the way, if you're putting down like you're in a club organization or played a sport, be sure and put down your role, what you did. That's part of the description. You want to make sure you do that. This is something, coursework. The only time I would mention this, because they have your transcript, would be if something is not in your transcript, like boys or girls state, which that would even be more of a honor. You could do honor activity on that one. So this one might, VOTEC shows up on your report card, so there's no need to put that down necessarily. All right, so the next thing under academic awards would be extracurricular activities. These are things that, give me examples of extracurricular. What are they? JROTC. Well, JROTC, you could do that, or you could put that under organization, because you can't just walk up and go, I feel like
FFA.
FFA is an organization too, believe it or not. It's a national, if it's national, It's an organization. Future Farmers of America. And if you're like, you know what, I don't want to, who cares? I don't want to, just put under activities. So am I confusing y'all? You are the king of your heading. You can say, I want to do activities, or I want to split the hairs there. I want to do organizations and clubs. That's up to you. Just head it as you choose, okay? Community service, again, we talked about that. Babysitting with no pay. Habitat for Humanity, going and petting dogs, which I don't think they're letting you do right now because of the COVID, but if you've done that, if you did it since ninth grade, put it on here. Community service is also those things you do with your youth group. Anything like that counts. Work experience, this could be, now since they're putting down community service, I wouldn't do work and community service unless you worked outside for pay and did community service. I would, so if you did community service, don't try to put it twice, like, well, community service, and then I put it under work also. Hobbies, that's a nice icebreaker. You don't have to put hobbies on there, but if you want to, especially if it says something, I'm not going to dissuade you from putting hobbies because you guys are really interesting people. So, you know what? Put hobbies on there. That's cool. Special skills, foreign language, HTML expertise, any kind of program you can run, that is valid. Don't just think, oh, I know how to work Google Sheets. Big deal. Huge deal. There was a student I talked to, and it broke my heart, the other day, and she applied for something at St. Bernard's, didn't get it because she didn't know how to work like Google Sheets or the equivalent of that for Microsoft. What is that? Excel. It broke my heart. Like, oh no. So that kind of stuff matters. All right, at the bottom, it's not on here. I want you to put references. I want you to have 3 references on your resume. Let's go check on Al Purdue to see how they're doing. It's gonna let me back in. Okay. Al Purdue. And again, do not use these templates. It's going to act like it's all great and fine, and they're going to want you to dig in your checkbook. So don't use these. But it's still a good. You can use the source and just not use their templates. So it's got, again, just good information if you're getting stuck on, I'm not sure really what to do. Okay. Again, I want to say something about objective, and this is on Al Purdue, a respected, awesome website. I've read articles that say that dates your resume, which you're just not even 20, but I think the objective thing's kind of going out of style. It's looking dated. So people, when they're looking for a job, they'll put like summary, and then they'll describe themselves in a couple sentences, and that'll be that. So objective, that used to be, it's like what the resume's for. Well, your resume, this is an academic, this is to apply for scholarships and college. That's what this is for, but you're not gonna have to put that on there. Okay, I feel like I've talked enough about resume. Questions on resume. All right, I want to show you how to go to, really quick. Oh, I meant to go to Drive. Let me go to Drive. Okay, so this is how you're going to do your resume template. If you want to follow along and do this with me, that's great. If you just want to do it later, that's fine. So I'm going to go to New, click New. I'm going to go to Docs. I'm going to hover, and I'm going to go down to From a Template. And then I'm going to scroll down to Resume. There are 5 of them. I don't care which one you choose. Now, just looking at them.
All right, what was that?
What is it? You go to your Drive.
Or you can just go to Google Docs.
Google Docs. There you go.
I'm trying.
I like to make this complicated.
I haven't used a computer in who knows how
It's
long.
okay. Okay, so just looking at it.
Or if you wanted to, you could just go to docs and then go to templates.
You can. Yeah, I made it harder. I put extra step in there. I'm sorry.
We know.
Okay.
And then your templates.
But do you need to
Yeah. And just go to resume. Okay, so guys, just looking at this, you might even be able to look at it and say, I like the way the second one looks, because it doesn't have as much white space on it. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with any of these, though. Okay, so whichever one you want to use. You do. Okay, questions on resume. Guys, it's just something you have to do. Okay? I'm here to help you if you need help.
Just scroll down.
Again, the headings, you can manipulate those. They're not going to be in the order you want. They're probably going to put experience first. You don't want that. You want education first. So go in there and just take it out and put in what you need for the headings. Okay. You're just using basically the margins. The headings might help you remember what to put, but it does have to be in that order. Okay. All right. Is it okay if I go on to essay? Will that overwhelm you guys if I start talking about that? Would y'all rather?
It's cool.
Y'all okay? Because my fool was like, no, let's give us time for this first, and then everybody okay with that?
What's happening?
Just making sure that you guys are okay with the resume assignment. I can start talking about the essay.
Sure.
Sure? You're not going to freak out on me later again? If I... No.
So,
Hey, y'all put your formal name on your resume.
So we don't do our middle name?
You can, your initial.
What if we have two middle names?
Choose one, you can both. Leave them out, just put your first and last. That is up to you. Okay, so you said it's okay to do it, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to go back. How are my virtual kids doing? Are you guys okay? Everybody okay? All right, let me go see. Really quick, y'all are on camera. Everybody okay with me? Everybody good? Okay, no questions on the resume? All right, okay. Let me go to college application essay. Okay, so guys, I have a video to watch, for us to watch. It's 11 minutes, and I like it because I think it gets your, I don't know, kind of revs you up. It's a young guy. You don't ever see him, you just hear his voice, but I'll show it, and then we can start talking about it. Just really quickly, what do you think would go in an essay, an application essay for college? What do you think it would look like?
Long.
Long? No. Why would you not want to make it really long? Yes, and plus think about those poor people at colleges. They don't want to read pages and pages. But you want to make it awesome, but you want to make it.
They don't want to read pages. They get paid to read pages.
Yeah, I know, but they got a lot to go through, especially really competitive ones, right? So tell your story. If it takes 3 pages, it takes 3 pages. That's fine. If you need it for a scholarship, we can whittle it down. I love doing that. That's revising. But I'm not going to give you a link. You're going to just love that, I hope. So, some are 3 paragraphs, which they are.
Yes.
Okay, so guys, here we go. I want to let you guys let me know if you have trouble watching the video, okay? As we watch it. If you do, go ahead and just play it, click on the link and watch it yourself, okay? That's what we're going to do.
Look, guys.
Grammarly.
Oh.
Hello, this is Mr. Santo, and I'm going to help you with your college application essay. No pressure or anything, but along with your last will and testament, the college application is probably one of the most important compositions you will ever write. How important is the essay? Well, that depends on what kind of student you are. You probably fall into one of the following 3 categories. If you're the kind of student who's in the 95th percentile on the SAT, your grade point average is a 4.0, and you have an impressive list of activities and leadership positions, then the essay might be a little less important for you. The college may have already decided that they want you, and all you can do in your essay is to blow it by coming off like a personality-free, grade-seeking robot. You can now stop watching this video and go back to annotating the complete works of William Thackeray. But most students fall into that gray area in the middle, and if this is you, I want you to imagine that the person reading your essay will be comparing you to 99 other applicants who, on paper, have all the same qualifications as you, the same test score, the same GPA, the same favorable teacher recommendations, maybe 1 or 2 extracurricular activities. Your essay is what will set you apart from the other 99. Let's call this student Doris. Her college essay is absolutely crucial to Dora's. It could very well determine whether or not she gets accepted. Or maybe you're a lackluster student with poor grades and no extracurricular activities. Let's call this student Jane. The college or university usually admits a few students with weaker qualifications to give a break to students who stand out in some non-academic way, who look like they might really do something special if given a chance. Jane might bring something interesting and valuable to the school. She might be a deep thinker who has made some mistakes or has had some bad luck, like family problems. Or maybe nearly all of the students at the university are the same, homogeneous in some way, culturally, racially, economically, and Jane would bring a perspective to class discussions and study groups that others won't have. The university wants that, not out of generosity, but to create a lively, intellectual environment where not everyone sees through the same cultural lens. So that could be Jane's chance. You already know most of what you need to know. Things you've already learned in your English classes about essay writing apply to your college application essay as well. Organize effectively. Write with personality and emotional commitment, what we call voice. Use vivid word choices and proofread your work for conventions errors. Sound familiar? And here's the best single piece of advice I can give you. Start early so that you can revise thoroughly and meaningfully. If you're a chronic procrastinator, make yourself start early so that you can write more than a single draft. If you think you write best under pressure, don't kid yourself. Give yourself the time to do your best work. So let's talk about organization. You've probably written several essays for school, and your teacher, I would hope, will have talked to you about how to organize an essay. But if you, like Jane, were busy watching funny cat videos that day, let me refresh your memory. Begin with an attention-getting intro, or hook. You can look at my video on hooks as well. Then include or imply your thesis.
Yes, ma'am.
I need a couple of your students to come to the counselor's office for a schedule change.
Okay,
I need Kaylee Glover and Kevin Ferguson.
okay,
And when they get back, I need Noble Taylor and Hunter Henson.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys, be sure and do your, hey, guys, be sure and do your phone, please, your, Tracy. So, guys, we can, I guess when one gets back, or if the both of us, sometime you can go one at a time or two at a time.
Which, in this case, is you should admit me to your school. The body of your essay will show the reader why you should be admitted. Don't talk a lot about things already in your application. They already know those things, and they need a human face now to put on your GPA, your SAT or ACT scores, your school activities, etc. Instead, the body of your essay should make clear that you are a real human being, not just some phony trying to tell them what they want to hear. And that if they give you the opportunity to get an education at their college or university, you'll go out into the world after graduation and do meaningful things with it. Your conclusion should be concise. Don't ramble on after you've made your point. It wouldn't be a bad idea to directly say that you hope they'll give you the opportunity to show them what you can do, or something like that. I made a whole other video on essay organization, so consider watching that for more detailed information. Next, voice. What we call voice is basically two things: a sense of your personality and emotional commitment. In your college essay, it's hugely important to convey a sense of who you are through your words. Your essay, as I've said, is the human face on your application. The reader wants to get to know you. So convey personality and an awareness that you are communicating with another human being. One way to do this is to anticipate your reader's questions and answer them. Let's say you are writing about your hobby, chainsaw juggling. Anticipate your reader's questions with something like this. Now, you're probably wondering what kind of bonehead would juggle chainsaws, but like anything else in life, the risks are minimal if you know what you're doing. Use of personal pronouns like I, me, my, you, and your are perfectly appropriate in this kind of essay. Also, it's okay to use informal words and colloquial phrases so that you convey a sense of your personality. But just remember, a little goes a long way. The second aspect of voice, emotional commitment, simply means that you are interested in what you're saying, that you're saying something you actually care about. Don't be afraid to write with passion or intensity. Writing on autopilot is the quickest way to sound generic and boring. What other than yourself do you really care about? Think about what you really want to say and then say it like you mean it. A former vice chancellor of admissions at the University of Denver said in a Denver Post article that applicants shouldn't exaggerate either. Most readers can tell if you're stretching the truth when you say that the death of your second cousin's stepfather's uncle caused you to fail geometry. Part of voice is authenticity, so keep it real, be sincere. Think about what kind of person you are. An admissions director at Texas Christian University said in the Arizona Daily Star that if you're a serious person, you should write a serious essay. If you're funny, write a funny essay. And I think if you're laid back, you can be a little laid back, but also let it peek out that there's something other than your high score in a video game that you really care about. Be yourself, but be your best self. Word choice means using interesting, striking phrases that sound good when read out loud. Be specific. Don't say, my friend and I grew apart and that made me really sad. Say, when I finished talking, my friend looked at me blankly, waiting for the punchline, and I realized that she didn't understand me, that despite our many years together, we were still strangers, that all of us are essentially castaways on separate deserted islands. Use of metaphors and similes can really add flavor to a bland piece of writing. On the other hand, don't use words you don't understand. I call this thesaurusitis. It means overusing a thesaurus to replace small words with big ones. Don't do this. It makes you sound dumber, not smarter, because you probably aren't using all those words correctly, and it makes you sound ridiculous. It should go without saying, though I know from experience that it doesn't, that you should thoroughly check and recheck your writing for conventions errors, spelling, punctuation, capitalization, any format requirements the university may have specified. After you've checked your essay, have someone else check it. By someone else, I don't mean your computer's spell check. While you're at it, why not confer with a skilled essay writer? You can. Just find some well-written essays and read them. Get some ideas for different ways you can sound, different tones, and different techniques for achieving certain effects. They don't have to be college application essays. I recommend the Best American Essays series. Ask your librarian about those. And when you read them, notice how each writer has his or her own personality. Notice how good writers show rather than tell. That means if Doris, remember Doris, is telling a story about how her family's car broke down in the middle of the desert, she shouldn't just tell us that and stop there. She should also make us see the desert, make us see what she sees and feel what she feels. She might describe the surrounding desert, put in some details about the physical process of getting help or helping her parent fix the car, as well as, importantly, her thoughts and feelings while all of this is going on, all of which will be revealing to the reader that Doris has qualities that make her more interesting than those other 99 applicants. Now, most application essay prompts are pretty standard and open-ended, like write a personal statement that gives us a sense of you as an individual, that sort of thing. But some colleges ask really strange questions like, how do you feel about Wednesday? Or how about this one? Don't let these kinds of questions throw you off. They're still just trying to get a sense of who you are and how you think. Answer the question in the spirit in which it was asked, in a creative and original way. And along the way, make them conclude, without you actually saying it, that you are a student they really, really want attending their school. When it comes down to it, those wacky application prompts are really not that different from the more ordinary ones. Finally, don't be afraid to ask for help. Talk to your school counselor and visit your local public library. Look up articles about college application essays in newspapers and magazines. See if your local library has a database of news articles like ProQuest. And when you have a draft, don't be afraid to ask parents and teachers to read your essay and give you constructive feedback. But remember, no article, book, video, or school counselor can write your essay for you. It's something that only you could create. from your life history, your personality, and your imagination. So I've given you 8 tips. 1, start early. Don't wait until the last minute. 2, organize effectively. You can check out my video on how to organize an essay. 3, write with personality and emotional commitment. 4, use specific interesting word choices. 5, check for conventions errors. 6, also read some good essays. 7, read articles about college application essays. And 8, get some constructive criticism. Follow those 8 tips and you'll improve your odds of getting that acceptance letter. Good luck.
Okay, good. Questions on that? Different than you thought? Same? Probably a lot of things you're experiencing. Do not worry about the proofreading because I'm going to build that in class. We're going to have groups and we will do breakout rooms on Zoom for virtual, and that means that you can very well be linked with someone virtual, you know, and we'll do your papers in Google, so it'll be really easy to do. Used to, we'd print them out, and but this is just not possible to do that. So we'll, you know, it has comments, we'll do that. But what it is, I'm going to force you to consider what your peers say about your paper, because they're going to obviously give you, I like this about it, they'll give you accolades, but they're also going to give you constructive criticism, which everybody needs in their writing especially. And you need to consider at least 2 or 3 things they tell you. So we're going to have a way to do that. So looking at the rubric is very simple. Here I've made it just like we're pretending like we are actually reading these essays. We're going to let people in the university or not. So you need to feel like you're having a conversation with the person that's writing the essay. It needs to be very conversational. It needs to be sincere, avoiding pretension and arrogance. It needs to reveal true insight and self-revelation about him or herself. Does the writer take a risk by keeping it sounding like any other essay? The writer needs to be enthusiastic. The essay needs to have a beginning, middle, and end. A variety of sentences. Don't just make them all very short and choppy or very long. They need to be varied. Is the essay focused? Does the essay avoid wordiness? And is the essay grammatically sound? So just very basic rubric there on how you're doing. Now let's go ahead and read some examples. I think that's one of the best things to do from this. And okay, this student, let's see, I skipped one, didn't I? This is a college student essay that worked for Harvard University. So I'm going to check on my virtual. I'm going to put you on the screen really quickly. Are y'all doing okay?
Fine.
Everybody doing great?
Oh.
Okay, making sure. All right, so looking at this essay, would anybody like to read this? I get tired of my own voice.
Wait.
You can't see that far. Okay, I don't mind to read it. Are we going to read it, Noble?
Yeah.
Awesome. Do I need to make it bigger? I mean, can you see it?
I can see it.
Okay, awesome. Everybody
I only got
comfortable?
glasses.
Okay. You can follow along on your screen, or you can look up here, and we're going to read. Guys, we'll read a few, just a couple, maybe 2 or 3, and then you can read as many as you want because there's just endless supply of them. Okay, we're listening as Noble reads this one.
This past summer, I had the privilege of participating in the University of Notre Dame's Research Experience for Undergraduates, or REU program. Under the mentorship of Professor Wendy Bozeman and Professor Georgia Lebedev
Perfect.
from the Department of Biological Sciences. My goal this summer was to research the effects of cobalt iron oxide core. I actually know what that is.
Oh, good. Cool.
COFE203, titanium dioxide TiO2, and nanoparticles as a scaffold for drug delivery, specifically in the delivery of a compound known as curcumin,
Curcumin.
a flavonoid known for its anti-inflammatory effects. As a high school student trying to find a research opportunity, it was very difficult to find a place that was willing to take me in. But after many months of trying, I sought the help of my high school biology teacher, who used this research to help me obtain a position in the program.
Okay, real quick, I have to stop for just a minute because how many you're thinking problem. A lot of you like, that's not, I'm not interested in that. That's not going to be me. Guys, okay, this person's interested obviously in what subject? Biology, and they know some about it. They still got things to learn. Everybody in here is an expert on something. So I want you to find your passion, and you can write very detailed information on a topic you know a lot about. So this is just this person's, their passion. All right, Noble, continue.
Using equipment that has high school students could only dream of using, I was able to map
Apoptosis?
programmed cell death versus necrosis cell death during damage in Ella cells. A cervical cancer lab. After treating them with curcumin-bound nanoparticles using flow cytometry
Yes.
to excite each individually suspended cell with a laser. Scattered light from the cells helped the determine which cells were living had died from
Apoptosis?
apoptosis and had died from necrosis. Using this collected data, it was possible to determine if curcumin, I can't say
That's
that word.
okay. Curcumin.
Curcumin and or the nanoparticles had played any significant role in cervical cancer cells. Later, I was able to image cells in 4D through confocal microscopy from growing callus cells to try to kill them with different compounds. I was able to gain the hands-on experience necessary for me to realize once again why I love science. Living on a Notre Dame campus with the other REU students, UND athletes, and other summer school students was a whole other experience that prepared me for the world beyond high school. For 9 weeks, I worked, played, and bonded with other students, and had the opportunity to live the life of an independent college student.
Okay, excuse me, just say that's the most enjoyable paragraph so far. I mean, for me personally. The others, for me, just, over. But we got to remember, this person's passionate, and, this is a very different aspect. Yes, yes. This can just be good. Your call, please. Noble.
Along with the individually tailored research projects and the housing opportunity, there were seminars on public speaking, trips to the Birmingham National Accelerator Laboratory, and one-on-one writing seminars for the end of the summer research papers we were each required to write by the end of the summer. I wasn't ready to leave research that I was doing on my research yet yield definitely results for the effect of curcumin or cervical cancer cells. My research on curcumin functionalized COFE204/TiO2 core shell
Nanoconjugates.
conjugates indicated that there were many unknown factors affecting the Ella cells, and spurred the lab to expand their research in determining whether or not the timing of the drug delivery mattered, and whether or not the position of the binding site of drugs would alter the results. Through this summer experience, research were the discoveries of barless.
And I think you skipped a line.
I did?
Yeah, through this summer experience. It's okay.
Realized
Mine.
Through this summer experience, I realized my ambition to pursue a career in research. I always knew that I would want to pursue a future in science, but the exciting world of research where the discoveries, that's lining it?
No, you did not.
All right. Research where the discoveries are limitless has captured my heart. This school year, the REU program has offered me a year-long job, and despite my obligations as a high school senior preparing for college, I couldn't give up this offer. And so during this school year, I'll be able to further both my research and interest in nanotechnology.
Okay, now here's the deal. This is probably a terrible first one to show you, but it's not terribly written. It's just, honestly, there were just, like I said, just a few sentences that I connected to, because the rest were just literally, I find science interesting, but that was so technical, it was over my head. But if you're an admissions officer at a college and you want serious students about science, can this student write?
Yeah.
Are they passionate about their topic? Yes. There we go. Let's find another one. No, we did excellent. Okay, I'm gonna find one.
I haven't read out loud in a while, if y'all can't tell.
Okay. Okay, guys, this is going to be different. Number 2, this one was admitted to Harvard. Notice the other one just said
Where do I go again?
it worked for it. Yes, honey, please can you do the QR code? Yeah, you gotta go that way. QR code first. Okay, number 2. Someone want to read this one? Everybody fine? Hanging in there? Okay. I believe that humans will always have the ability to rise above any situation because life is what you make of it. We don't know what life is or why we are in this world. All we know, all we feel is that we must protect it any way we can. Are y'all with me?
Yeah.
Buddha said it clearly. Life is suffering. Sometimes don't we feel it to the core? Okay, I'm sorry. Life is suffering. Life is meant to be challenging, and really living requires consistent work and review. By default, life is difficult because we must strive to earn happiness and success. I already like this one better than the other one.
I have no bars.
I can just go and I'll write it down. You don't worry. And it's fine.
Don't worry, it's about time, so-
Yes, and if you can do the QR code, if you can't do the QR code, let me know.
Okay. Let me do it a second.
Okay, perfect. Today is the 28th. Counselors. Okay. Where was I? Okay, yet I've realized that life is fickler than I had imagined. It can disappear or change at any time. Several of my family members left this world in one last beating symphony. Heart attacks seem to be a trend in my family. They left like birds, laughing one minute and in a better place the next. Steve Jobs inspired me when in his commencement address to Stanford University in 2005, he said, I just feel like I'm not getting a lot of people aren't listening. He said, your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. I want to make mistakes because that is how I learn. I want to follow the beat of my own drum, even if it is out of tune. The important thing is to live without regret, so when my heart ceases to beat, it will make one last happy note and move on. I want to live my life daily. Every day I want to live. Every morning when I wake up, I want to be excited by the gift of a new day. I know I'm being idealistic and young and that my philosophy on life is comparable to a calculus limit. I will never reach it, but I won't give up on it because I can still get infinitely close, and that is amazing. Every day is an apology to my humanity because I am not perfect. I get to train again and again to get it right. I breathe the peace of eternity, knowing that this stage is temporary, real existence is continuous. The hourglass of life incessantly trickles on, and we are powerless to stop it. So I will forgive and forget, love and inspire, experience and satire, laugh and cry, accomplish and fail, live and die. This is how I want to live my life, with this optimistic attitude that every day is a second chance. All the time we have the opportunity to renew our perspective on life, to correct our mistakes, and to simply move on. Like the phoenix, I will continue to rise from the ashes, experienced and renewed. I will not waste time, for my life is already in flux. And in all its splendor, the phoenix rises in a burst of orange and yellow. It soars in the baby blue sky, heading to that great light, baptized in the dance of time, fearless, eternal, beautiful. It releases a breathtaking aurora, and I gasp at the enormity. Okay, what do y'all think?
So we got a bullet on our knees.
I was thinking the same thing. If that's not a humanities graduate, I don't know who is. Okay, but I, and they're both excellent essays, but the second one was more, English, I understood more, but they both write well. I feel like I know them both. He might be a philosophy major, right? So, could be. Okay, guys, let's read this one more essay. Then we'll take a 5-minute tech time. I think you need it. So read this essay, 5-minute tech time, and then go to the restroom. Okay, yes. Then I'm gonna see how you're feeling on this. And then I know we're doing a lot, but this is block. I have to really get it in because I won't see you guys till Tuesday.
Okay, if we do the, dear future self thing first, can we start on the resume and then the essay?
You sure can, absolutely. Now, guys, that's something else I wanted to say. Listen up. This is something, I don't think this is going to take, the letter to yourself is not going to take long. Typically, the longest I think someone spent was 15 minutes on it. That's the longest I've had. So this is something you can turn in today. If you need more time, just come see me and I'll jot it down that you need to get it back to me. But absolutely, the resume and application essay, I don't mind what order you do them in as far as those two. It seems like it'd be easier to do the resume first. That might help you kind of start thinking what all you've been doing. I have a little exercise that I want to do also before I unleash you for independent work that might help you kind of start thinking about what you might write about. Okay, this is the last one I'm going to read before our break. And then we'll do that little quick exercise I said in the letter, and I'm unleashing y'all. Okay, this worked for Duke University. Are we good? Can someone else read it? Are y'all tired of me in my Charlie Brown teacher voice? Someone else want to read? It makes it worse because it's in italics. Okay, as soon as the patient room door opened, the worst stench I have ever encountered hit me square in the face. Okay, I'm already sucked into this, holding my nose. I'm interested. Though I had never smelled it before, I knew instinctively what it was, rotting flesh. Ooh. I know. I was hoping it was trash. Okay. A small elderly woman sat in a wheelchair, dressed in a hospital gown and draped in blankets from the neck down, with only her gauze-wrapped right leg peering out from under the green material. Dr. Q began unwrapping the leg, and there was no way to be prepared for what I saw next. Gangrene, rotted tissue, and blackened dead toes. So glad it's not time for lunch. Never before had I seen anything this gruesome, as even open surgery paled in comparison. These past 2 years of shadowing doctors in the operating room have been important for me in solidifying my commitment to pursue medicine. But this situation proved that time in the operating room alone did not quite provide a complete, accurate perspective of a surgeon's occupation. Doctors in the operating room are calm, cool, and collected, making textbook incisions with machine-like, detached precision. It is a profession founded solely on skill and technique, or so I thought. This grisly experience exposed an entirely different side of this profession I hope to pursue. Feeling the tug of nausea in my stomach, I forced my gaze from the terrifying wound into the hopeful face of the ailing woman, seeking to objectively analyze the situation, as Dr. Q was struggling to do himself. Slowly and with obvious difficulty, Dr. Q explained that an infection this severe calls for an AKA above-the-knee amputation. In the slow, grave silence that ensued, I reflected on how this desperate patient's very life rests in the hands of a man who has dedicated his entire life to making such difficult decisions as these. I marveled at the compassion in Dr. Q's promise that his aggressive approach would save the woman's life. The patient wiped his watery eyes and smiled a long, sad smile. I trust you, Doc. I trust you. She shook Dr. Q's hand, and the doctor and I left the room. Back in his office, Dr. Q addressed my obvious state of contemplation. This is the hardest part about what we do as surgeons, he said, sincerely. We hurt to heal, and oftentimes people cannot understand that. However, knowing that I'm saving lives every time I operate makes the stress completely worth it. Suddenly, everything fell into place for me. This completely different perspective broadened my understanding of the surgical field and changed my initial perception of who and what a surgeon was. I not only want to help those who are ill and injured, but also to be entrusted with difficult decisions the occupation entails. Discovering that surgery is also a moral vocation, completely different, beyond the generic application of a trained skill set encouraged me. I now understand surgeons to be much more complex practitioners of medicine, and I am certain that this is the field for me. Okay, just wondering, what do you think his question or his prompt was? What do you think his prompt was? Like, what do you think? Because I'm going to show you after our break a lot of different prompts you can choose from. Just guessing. What do you think his prompt might have been?
One of those like experiences.
Absolutely. Memorable experiences, yes, because this certainly, and he draws us in with the imagery, the stench, he pulls us in, he's got all those things. So, yes, that, or it could be like a time in your life when you had a realization, and this is maybe this as well, or, well, I think it's going to be one of those too, I'm pretty sure. Guys, let's take 5-minute tech time. We'll meet back and finish the rest of the class period. You may get on your phone. You want to get up for a minute, stretch, if you want to. Tech time for my virtual. Guys, we're having tech time, okay? Okay, let me see. I'm sharing my screen. Okay. Okay, there we go.
I took civics last year.
So is there anything specific about what we're supposed to write to ourselves?
It is, I would say that you might write about kind of what's going on now, and then maybe where you hope to be, or what you think you might be, what you think might be going on, with your life. Congratulate yourself, things like that. And I'm not reading it; it's strictly for you. In fact, all the other classes have already done it. This is for 1B, so, and I'll come by with a stapler. I know we're doing so much, but it's blunt. We have to.
Can I go ahead and start on that paper now?
You sure can. What color would you like?
That's my go-to color.
Color the sky, blue water.
It's the color of the day.
That's an excellent. Hey guys, I'm gonna come around already and pick your color for your letter. Yes. Yes, and just QR code, please.
Please stay. Can you tell us your food?
Green has very strong ties.
You just quit?
No, I didn't have a choice.
Oh, are you gonna change it?
I tried.
And they didn't hear?
No.
Why is it?
You go back to school.
I don't find this fair.
I would probably just take the year off. You know what I mean?
I started the first battle since a month of college. Look at the level difference. My guy's level 40, 60, 50. The opponent's level. The opponent's character's 100, 105, 100.
Let me look again.
Down here.
Oh, it's down there.
Yeah, underneath. I think it'll be better.
Maybe. You're gonna get demolished.
Let's go.
Because all you ever do is fight higher level mobs.
I didn't pick this.
I mean, still, that's your style.
I mean, you're right. It's still.
I mean, you're right, but like, she's not gonna be, so I'm gonna put a bunch of crap in here.
You'd be like, I know you haven't made any, but you're gonna be like, what's up?
That's my first sentence.
Your first, you're like going through like,
You failed school,
still.
so you failed school, you quit college, you're a YouTuber,
You're a felon.
you're a sports user.
I know I should. That's one thing I like.
I just told you.
Oh, and a timer is on.
I think I like driving in the rain.
I built a tractor.
Yeah, you can literally tell me what side.
Yes. Yes.
You know, if you drove to school in a tractor, you'd be like, you drove to school in a tractor, you'd be curious.
Can I get a like tax with a bunch of Tic Tacs? So, I was like, hey, you're taking That's a true tractor right there. True tractor. Would I have to get a license?
But
Yes.
I don't know.
It's not supposed to be on the road.
Go ahead. Thank you. Yes, I don't
You're not supposed to be plowing the road. Look at
I was gonna put that up. Sorry, thank you.
No.
Yes, we can. We can turn them on now if you like. Would you like the lights on now? Okay. Okay, guys, that is our time. We're going back to look at this. I want to go ahead and show you some prompts for essay prompts. Okay, before we start our letter. The first one, this is called the Common App, and there are more. There's a website with over 100 prompts that you can access. You're not limited to these, but what happens is they kind of start getting similar after about 30. They start kind of repeating themselves. So some students have a background, identity, interest, or talent so meaningful they believe their application would be incomplete without it. If this sounds like you, please share your story. That might be the guy, the science guy, right? The lessons we take from obstacles we encounter can be fundamental to later success. Recount a time when you faced a challenge, setback, or failure. How did it affect you, and what did you learn from the experience? Number 3, reflect on a time when you questioned or challenged a belief or idea. What prompted your thinking, and what was the outcome? Describe a problem you solved or a problem you'd like to solve. It can be an intellectual challenge, a research query, an ethical dilemma, anything of personal importance, no matter the scale. Explain its significance to you and what steps you took or could be taken to identify a solution. Discuss an accomplishment, event, or realization that sparked a period of personal growth and a new understanding of yourself or others. Describe a topic, idea, or concept you find so engaging it makes you lose all track of time. Why does it captivate you? What or who do you turn to when you want to learn more? Share an essay on any topic of your choice. It can be one you've already written, one that responds to a different prompt, or one of your own design. Okay, so and there are plenty more prompts. That's just kind of a start there. So questions on this? Any questions on this? All right. I know I've still got a few people out. I've got the letter going on. The little exercise I have, would it be okay to go ahead and get that out of the way and then do the letter, and I'm going to stop talking?
What is the answer?
Well, the exercise is like you do it on the computer. It's a little journal. I said you wouldn't need your computer anymore. Or no, I didn't. I said that. Yes, on your, it would be, you putting on a Google Doc. It's like 6 things, like 6 questions I want to ask, and you type your answers. Would that be okay? Y'all good with that? All right, let me check them out. Y'all good? We're about to do an exercise. I don't think I've shared it on got a journal.
Every year you like pull a ruler out of your backpack, ready to go beat somebody up.
Okay, here it is.
Now the one year that I actually need your ruler, you don't have it.
Okay, guys, so this is it. If you will go to it says journal, and what you're going to do is you are going to, I don't know if you're able to attach something to that or not. Well, I think you can. I think you just need to go and make a new Google Doc, just a blank Google Doc, yes. And go ahead and attach it to this. I'm going to ask you 6 questions, okay? I know, but that's right. You don't have to write the question.
Journal writing.
Oh, journal writing, gotcha.
Google writing.
Okay, so guys, this is it. We are writing. Hey guys, we need a blank Google document. You're going to answer, just to type it. You don't have to type the question. You are just responding to what I ask you. This is to try to help you start thinking of your essay, but it may not, you may not use any of this. I had a student ask me, do we have to use these? I said, no, I just want you to start thinking. Okay, so I'm going to check on my virtual to make sure they're okay, guys. I'm going to have you on the screen really fast. Are y'all okay?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. All right, so here we go with journal entries. Everyone got a new document?
Yes.
Everybody's ready. Okay, number 1, I would date it, put 8/28/2020 at the top of it. And then do number 1. Number 1, type who, WHO. All right, type the question, but I would like for you, and this is just a couple sentences or maybe even a phrase. Who is a person who made you who you are? A person who influenced you. So type their name. It might be a couple, if you want to write just a little something about them, like a phrase or something. You're not writing a paragraph. Just
Wait, Miss Riggs.
Yes.
Is this what I emailed you about yesterday?
It is, I think.
Okay, I went ahead and answered it and turned in that Google Doc. Is that okay? Or?
That's perfect. You're perfect. You can
Okay.
go.
I didn't know. Okay.
Okay, my virtual people, if you've done this already, you can go ahead and start working on your letter to yourself. You can type it if you want to and email it to me. I don't read it. I will fold it, and you'll get it in May. Okay? So
Okay.
the letter to yourself is just your writing to your future self in May. It can be very long, very short, and you'll get it back in May. Okay. Are we ready for the second part of number 1?
So something about who inspired you or?
Yes. Number one, who? Who inspired you? Who helped make you who you are?
Wouldn't say it was helpful.
Now, here's the deal. Some people are like, you know what? I can't think of that right now. Just jot it down. Inspired me, question mark, come back to it. Okay? The second part of number one is also a who. It's a person you have influenced either positively or negatively. Oh, yes.
Everyone.
It's a
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
It froze.
It's a person you have influenced positively or negatively. Is it because it's negatively? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
But guys, listen, these essays doesn't, I mean, you're being honest
This
here.
isn't important, but like I was typing it, I went to say influence, and it said infused with inspiration.
That's gonna put
Because
my
it's yeah, like this auto suggestion. It's like, who have you infused with
Oh, I love
inspiration?
that. That's great.
Which one it is?
Okay, virtual, you guys okay on this? For number one, you got number one? There's two who's. All right, I kind of feel like Dr. Seuss saying two who's. Anyway, it's two, number one is two who's.
Dr. Gill.
Who?
Number two has two whats. Number two is two whats. The first what is a memorable event? Can you think of a memorable event you've had, either positive or negative? I hope it's positive, but a memorable event could be negative.
They're almost negative.
So either one. So number two, the first what is a memorable event, either a positive one or a negative one. And these are just notes. You may or may not use any of this for your essay. Just kind of want to get you thinking. And again, these are notes, not really more like I said journal. It's kind of notes for your essay. Do I need to repeat number one for anybody? Number one, does anybody need number one? My virtual folks, are y'all okay? Everybody okay? All right. For Shannon? Okay. Okay, the second part of the one on number two, this is the only one with the second part. It is, if you could go back and change something, what would it be? What would you go back and change? What would you go back and change? Second part of number two, what would you go back and change? Should you go back and change something?
What if you wouldn't change anything about it?
Then they just put NA. There's nothing you go back and change? That's.
But it changed about the event, or it changed about our life?
But
Not
the
our life.
change. Just, and I guess
Yes, I shall go back and stop it.
it's almost kind of, you could do either one that applies. I mean, either some might be an event, some might be if I could go back and change something. Because one might be, neither one are possible, but one could be something like, I wish I could have been born in a different time period or state or, I don't know, country. Insane. Okay. Are we good? Are we good for three? Hey guys, are y'all with me? Are we all on the bus? Okay, number three is a when. Number three is a when. Okay. We're gonna.
Number three, because all the other ones have 2 points.
That's right. 3, 4, 5, and 6 do not. Just one. Number three, when did you know what you wanted to do after high school? Yes, and some of you still don't know, and that's okay. Then you need to put that down. I'm still undecided. When did you realize what you wanted to do after high school? That might take you back to a time period or an event that sparked that. Again, it was when did you know that what you wanted to do after high school? For some of you, you still don't know, and that's okay. You can just write, I'm undecided. I don't know. One person next. I'm doing the journalistic thing.
I know.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I was like,
Yeah, yeah. Okay, number 4. Am I going too fast? 4? 4 is where. Where is a special place that you love to be? 4. Where is a special place that you love to be? Are you okay? Special place. Okay, number 5. Number 5 is why. And it would be a what, but I really want to do a why. So this is, you feel strongly about something. Why? So you do what I'm saying? What is something you feel really strongly about, and why do you feel so strongly about that? Because everybody, you guys are opinionated. I mean, everybody has opinions. So you can just list something that you feel strongly about, and then tell just why, just briefly why. For example, someone might put, I hate smoking because my loved one died because he smoked.
Oh, no.
I feel strongly about anti-tobacco. That's an example. Okay. It could be great. It could be, I believe in wearing seat belts because it saved my cousin's life. Same thing.
What
Okay.
if your cousin was trying to commit suicide?
I mean, then it's a bad thing.
No. All right. Number 6. Number 6. How will you make a difference in the world? Number 6. How will you make a difference in the world? My virtual, are y'all okay? My virtual okay? Do y'all have any questions? You're not on the screen. Do y'all have any questions for me? Number 6 is how will you make a difference in the world? How will you make a difference in the world?
I'll bring you back.
Okay, now guys, I have no more. I've talked more than I usually do today because we're kicking off several things because you guys said it was okay, you can handle it. So, not rushing anybody. We've got 15 minutes left in this class, or 20.
Set up what you're planning.
20 minutes. So I'm just here if you need me. We've got the letter to yourself going on. Unless you need more time. I've got nothing else for you. You're thinking, thank God, woman, what else could you have? Resume, application essay.
The rest of this
We are going to have next week to work on this resume and application essay in class. Vocab is first, won't take long, and then you're going to have I'm not going to talk unless you need me to talk. So you got class time to work on this. I'm promising next Tuesday and Thursday. I'm not promising days beyond that though, okay? Does that sound okay for this? Okay. Y'all okay? My virtual, if y'all could give me thumbs up or let me know how you're doing. Yes, I'm turning the lights on. You're not on the screen. You're just on my computer screen, okay? Yes. Yeah, journal, you turn in, please. Journal, when you're finished with those 6 questions, you turn those in. They're very short. I shouldn't look on a journal. I should be on doing this. Help you think. To help you think. And I'm here. I'm gonna stop talking. Yes, I'll be right there. Perfect. Okay, journal goes, you want to go through the question? Journal.
hope I don't just break down my truck between now and graduation.
I'm ready because it went there.
Okay, well,
That's
that's
fine.
Sunday. I don't even know who that is.
And we have people here, all of the Dylan or
I don't know.
Maybe really cool.
Like, what graduation is the 24th?
Do you have any questions?
No.
Miss Ruth?
Yes.
Is graduation the 24th?
I said it was. Let me check. Nothing like checking. May. Graduation is May 24th. Yes. May 24th, 2021 is your graduation date. And let me just say, it'll be here before you know it. Not trying to stress you out, but it's really almost there. I don't want to come cover because I know you're writing a letter yourself, but just let me know when you're finished. I'll come staple it in the folder. Also, if you have any questions, let me know.
Do you want us to
What
fold
do I
it?
feel really strongly about?
Yes. Are you ready to become staple?
Yeah.
You feel really strongly about it? Guys, one other thing, put your name on the outside of the letter because I don't want to have to open it to see who it is to get it to me.
So what are we gonna do with these?
So what's that?
I'll check it until May. You like that school year, you can back.
I feel strong. Oh, that's kind of cool.
It is cool. I see last year senior day. Look at my letter back. I'm like, what? You get it graduation photo up here.
You do sit.
No, that is so scary.
Don't get me one. Nobody gets hurt. Shopping next.
We did our big one. Yeah, no, it's.
Shoot yourself.
I said you. Okay, Skyler Robertson and Cameron Clark, because I put them in this little.
Right.
If y'all don't mind, yes, if y'all don't mind, y'all make sure you check it out with the QR code, please.
You gotta put something.
It's a Pop-Tarts. No, I'm just asking if that's right.
Okay, Marcia, y'all still okay? Everybody's good?
No.
Yeah.
I got a question.
Yeah.
So.
Sure.
I think this one. This is my goal.
All right. I do 65. And I mean, I think, you know, if you get 65, I'm not gonna fail you.
Right, the first thing you're gonna put down needs to be education.
I thought we were friends.
And then you're
Yeah.
gonna we'll graduate from Western High School, May 24th, 2021.
Also, I forget.
That's great. I'm totally giving you guys updating your resumes and then letting you look at them. I'm just impressed that so many kids, it used to be back in the day, kids really didn't have resumes.
Well, I have one, but
Right, no, I mean, they just didn't, and now it's just, I'm so happy. That just makes,
I don't have one.
that makes everything, either way, it's fine. It gives you-
That's something.
It's just a little easier.
You're gonna forget about that when the video
Yeah,
opens.
well,
D&D club.
You're gonna be expecting with a
put that on my God.
Open it.
I was vice president of the
I
community.
can't
You ready?
speak proper.
That's your name on the outside? Thank you. Get back in line.
What is a neutral rule? Something that none of her did. Is it? With your finger. I don't know. I don't know if they're appropriate.
You don't have to.
They're not school appropriate.
You don't have to. Let's say that you thought about it.
I know, but I'm just thinking, I'm like, they're really not school appropriate. They involve like
I literally did my back.
weapons.
I'm a mandate for order.
I just went to another channel.
I've done it my own computer, but not students.
If it falls, oh well. These things are durable. Considering how long I've had it, it's durable.
You know, they are. And then a whistle thing might break it, not tear it out.
Yep. Human sanity.
Yes.
I'm good.
Are you good? I'm coming. So Rosie, you don't have any homework except for thinking about your resume and your essay. I want you to be thinking about it. You're driving down the road, you're,
That's
home.
not a good thing to drive down the road. I just.
Yeah, when you're driving, just don't focus on the road. Think about your future.
Just think about everything else but the drive.
Think about the impending doom that is slowly coming.
Okay, so when you're sitting in your bedroom and you're not texting your phone, think about it.
I'm depressed whenever I had roots.
I'm just depressed.
What can I say? You're a depressing person.
I really am.
Yes.
I mean,
No, not really.
I mean,
You're a really fun person to hang around.
I am really depressing in life.
And that's what you do, give it some thought.
Very, like, actual.
Tuesday after go to start.
No.
Okay,
Like, yeah.
here you go.
And then, most of my family doesn't want to take me like vacation. I only have my immediate.
Oh, I'm fine. There you go.
Man, you're so funny. I haven't seen my phone in 14 years.
I have no hobby.
Has everyone picked out a tip?
Well, I have no
Are you
social
still shopping?
I can't go anywhere. Wow.
One word. TikTok.
That's 2 words. No.
Yes.
The D&D stores are okay.
Yeah.
Got a lot done today.
Did you?
Anyway,
You can get anything
is it
done,
all
you
right
gotta
if I
find
hold
different
off
things
on my
you need to
resume
get
until
done.
later? Because I don't know half the things
You
I
got
do.
it. We did. You got it
Is
done.
it all right if I hold off on my resume because I don't know half the things I did? And Mr. Lax
Absolutely.
said, yeah, we're doing the same thing over at Potomac.
Well, no, you can have to do it right if you want to. Your resume, as long as it's your resume and it's got education on the card and your name, and that's totally fine with me.
As long as you rig it properly.
That's right.
Does this Google Doc go to your journal writing? You're still there.
Are we sharing these with the class?
Yes.
The resume?
No,
Oh,
no, but that would be good to let someone else look at it besides me, but I will be correcting it. Your application, actually, we won't do anything on those.
I think that's a bit out of my comfort zone.
Turn it in.
No.
What?
It'd be cool if we did show some.
What?
It'd be cool if we did show them the resumes.
When will we get our time capsule?
You know, I don't know, she was in kindergarten or first grade.
Time capsule? Oh, never mind.
I'm not here, kind of. Kindergarten, first grade.
Kindergarten.
I
Somewhere.
don't know.
That's white.
She's good.
No, Mama says 4.
Maybe, you know what, maybe parents have them, because that's probably a parents, you want to trust it to a parent, guardian that way, because sometimes teachers.
Yeah, I thought we got. Yeah. You like a little bag? I think we had this one.
I didn't have one.
I didn't either.
I showed up in like 7th grade.
Okay.
I forgot about that.
I have nothing wrong with being a good time in class.
She left after class.
Yeah, I remember I get to focus on the end of the exhibition analysis.
No, I didn't. Were you very much?
I used to be such a happy person.
Okay, again, guys, I know I don't set a due date for this, but I will tell you that we'll not schedule more than next Tuesday and Thursday classes to work on this. So after that, you know, I might make the due date that Monday. That would be, actually, that's the Monday of Labor Day. I might make it that Monday.
Are we in school today?
No.
No. Yeah. So,
Where do we need to put our name?
I'm going kayak. But actually,
Where?
how would that work?
Wait, we
That's a good question.
So the Tuesday. Wait.
Yeah, and to be sure, Miss Karen Tate, Miss Wiseman let us know. So I think you're right. Yes, that way I don't see what's in
Well, then I'm gonna explore a guy.
And he told me what to put on here.
Who did?
Yeah. He told me pretty much put, get the job you want, graduate high school, and hope he can add modifications to his truck. I was like, if that's what
Okay,
you
so
want to put on there, so. I got that.
Okay, virtual. Do y'all have any questions for me, Alexandria, or nobody? You all can email that to me, or if you want to make it physical and bring it up to the school on Monday and drop it off for me, that's fine too. If you want to have a physical letter to yourself, okay? I don't think I said that earlier. It's whichever you'd rather do. Okay.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Okay, you all do know about the composite on Monday and Tuesday. Do y'all know about that? Okay, so
I suppose.
they want you up here at 8:00, A through, I think it's M on Monday, and then Tuesday N through Z. And you can, if you want to bring your letter physical to me, you can, or if you want to email it to me, that's fine. You guys email me with any questions or anything you have, okay? Any issues. I did that to help you maybe understand me with my, I don't know.
What's going to happen if we aren't there on like whenever our day is? Like, are they going to do like different pictures? Because I don't know when my mom's going to get out of the hospital.
Got it. Typically, at
And
least
I'm in St. Louis. It's not like I can just like come back and
no,
take
you
photos.
don't worry. I'm sure he will do a makeup. We just don't advertise that, but yes, you don't worry and you take care. Okay. Right. We've got like 5 minutes, so y'all can work on what you need to. I'm here if you need me. Anybody else have?
I don't like that.
Anybody need more time for that, or do I have to come? You need more time.
Wow.
I don't have his, but I know he's been called out.
First of all, you stop doing it.
I'm going to go ahead and stop. I should have stopped videoing a long time ago, but I'm going to stop videoing now. Stop recording.